My friends, every sunrise is God's gentle reminder that life has given us another chance. Another chance to love, to grow, to heal, to serve, and to shine. But how we begin our day decides everything that follows. You see, if we begin our mornings in chaos, our entire day is filled with chaos. But if we begin our mornings with calmness, clarity, and connection to God, the rest of our day becomes a masterpiece. The first 20 minutes of your morning are like the foundation of a building. If the foundation is strong, the entire structure will stand tall and unshakable. But if the foundation is weak, everything will collapse under the weight of life's challenges. So today, let me share with you how you can begin your day in just 20 minutes and experience more peace, more energy, and more connection with the divine. These small practices will transform not only your mornings but your entire life. Let us think deeply about what it means to begin our day with gratitude to God. Gratitude is not just about saying thank you with our lips. It is about feeling a sense of reverence and acknowledgement in our hearts. When you open your eyes in the morning, the very first breath you take is not something you created. It is a gift. No matter how much power, wealth, or intelligence one has, not a single human being has manufactured their own breath. It is freely given by God. And yet, most of us open our eyes and instantly think of our tasks, our deadlines, our messages, our problems. Rarely do we pause to realize, I have woken up today, I have another chance to live. That single realization can shift your entire energy, because when you start your day with gratitude, your mind naturally turns from complaint to contentment. Think about this. How many people slept last night but never woke up this morning, and yet here you are breathing, alive, and still blessed with another day to walk on this earth? Shouldn't that make us pause, close our eyes for a moment, and whisper a heartfelt thank you to the one who made it possible? Gratitude turns ordinary mornings into sacred beginnings. It is like adding fragrance to a flower. The flower is already beautiful, but the fragrance makes it divine. In the same way, your life is already a gift, but gratitude adds sweetness, depth, and meaning to it. When you practice gratitude, you start noticing things you often take for granted. The sunlight entering your room, the air filling your lungs, the ability to move your hands and legs, the people who care for you. All these are blessings. But when the mind is clouded by dissatisfaction, it overlooks these gifts and only focuses on what is missing. That is why so many people start their day feeling empty, restless, or incomplete. Gratitude reverses that mindset. It teaches you to look at what is present, what is good, and what is already abundant in your life. Consider a simple daily example. Imagine two people wake up to the same rainy morning. One looks outside and grumbles, "What a gloomy day. Now everything will be delayed." The other looks at the same rain and says, "How refreshing. God is watering the earth, the trees, and the crops. This rain will give food and life to millions." Both are experiencing the same event, but their attitudes shape their reality. Gratitude does not change the external event, but it changes how your inner world responds to it. And when your inner world is positive, your actions, words, and energy throughout the day become positive as well. Gratitude is also deeply connected to humility. When you thank God for something, you acknowledge that you are not the ultimate controller. You accept that there is a higher hand guiding your life, and that hand is always working for your growth, even when things don't go as planned. So often, people complain about what they don't have, forgetting that someone else is praying day and night for the very life they are living. A person without food prays for a simple meal, while another person complains about the taste of the dish. A person who is walking miles under the hot sun prays for a small vehicle, while someone else grumbles about the model of their car. Gratitude allows you to see life from a higher perspective, where instead of comparing yourself to others, you compare yourself with your own past struggles and realize how far you have come with God's grace. Starting your morning with gratitude also creates mental strength. Life will always bring challenges. There is no escaping that. But when your first thoughts are filled with thanks, you develop an inner resilience. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" you start saying, "Thank you, God, for giving me the strength to handle this." That shift in language changes the way your mind processes pain. Gratitude turns difficulties into lessons, losses into reminders, and delays into divine timings. Let's take another daily life example. Imagine you are driving to work and suddenly there is heavy traffic. Most people start their day frustrated, angry, and restless in that situation. But if you had begun your day with gratitude, your response would be calmer. You might think, "At least I have a vehicle to sit in. At least I have a job to go to. At least I have this time to breathe or listen to something uplifting." Instead of burning your energy in anger, you transform the same situation into an opportunity to remain peaceful. This is the power of gratitude. It doesn't remove obstacles, but it changes how you walk through them. Gratitude also attracts more blessings. When you appreciate what you have, you open the door for more to flow. God is like a loving parent. When a child appreciates even the smallest gift, the parent feels inspired to give more. But when the child complains about every gift, the parent feels less inclined to add more. Similarly, when you constantly complain about what's lacking, your energy blocks the flow of abundance. But when you thank God sincerely for what is already here, you align yourself with positivity, and naturally, more good things find their way to you. So, begin your day with gratitude. Before checking your phone, before worrying about your schedule, place your hand on your heart and say, "Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you for my breath, my body, my family, my opportunities. Thank you for guiding me, even when I don't understand your plan." Let these words be the first light that enters your mind each morning, because a day that begins with gratitude does not remain an ordinary day. It becomes a day guided by grace. Silence and stillness may sound simple, but in truth, they are among the most powerful practices you can bring into your life. In a world that is constantly buzzing with noise, notifications, and endless demands, silence has become a rare treasure. Most people wake up, and the first sound they hear is not their own breath, not the voice of God within, but the beeping of alarms, the buzzing of phones, or the noise of the outside world. We jump into action immediately, and our minds become filled with rush and restlessness before the day has even begun. But if you give yourself a few sacred minutes of silence and stillness every morning, you will discover an energy, a peace, and a clarity that no amount of external noise can ever give you. Silence is not the absence of sound, it is the presence of awareness. It is the space where you listen, not with your ears but with your heart. When you sit quietly, even for a few moments, you start to notice things you usually ignore. The rhythm of your breath, the beating of your heart, the flow of your thoughts, the presence of life itself within you. Silence creates a bridge between your busy outer world and your deeper inner world. And in that space, you realize that you are not your worries, not your deadlines, not your stress. You are much more than that. You are a soul, a spark of the divine carrying peace within you. Let's take a simple example from daily life. Imagine a glass of muddy water that has just been shaken. The mud swirls everywhere and the water looks cloudy. But if you place that glass on a table and leave it undisturbed, slowly the mud settles down and the water becomes clear again. In the same way, our minds are often shaken by thoughts, worries, and plans. But if we sit in stillness for a few minutes, the noise begins to settle and our inner clarity returns. Without stillness, the mind remains agitated. With stillness, wisdom emerges naturally. You might wonder, but how can silence help me when I have so many problems to solve? Think of your mind as a room filled with too many voices, all speaking at once. If everyone is shouting, you cannot hear the most important message. But when silence enters the room, suddenly the right voice becomes clear. Silence is that filter. It allows you to hear the voice of God guiding you. The whisper of intuition, the gentle nudge of wisdom that is always present, but often drowned out by noise. One of the greatest tragedies of modern life is that people have become afraid of silence. The moment they are left alone, they rush to fill the emptiness with music, with screens, with distractions. But silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is in silence that creativity is born, inspiration arises, and the deepest answers reveal themselves. Have you ever noticed that some of your best ideas come not when you are forcing yourself to think, but when you are quiet, in the shower, during a walk, or just before sleep? That is because silence unlocks the natural intelligence of the mind and allows God's wisdom to flow through you. In the morning, silence has a special power. When the world is still waking up, when the air is fresh and the day has not yet rushed upon you, those quiet moments are like gold. They prepare your heart and mind for everything that follows. Instead of carrying yesterday's baggage into today, silence washes it away. Instead of rushing into decisions, silence gives you clarity. Instead of starting with stress, silence roots you in calmness. Let me give you another everyday example. Suppose you are about to write an important message or email while your phone is ringing, the TV is on, and people are talking loudly around you. Can you concentrate properly? Of course not. But if you sit in a quiet space, even for a few minutes, you can write with focus and clarity. In the same way, your life is your message to the world. If you begin it with noise, your actions throughout the day will be scattered. But if you begin it with silence, your actions will carry depth and direction. Stillness also teaches patience. We live in a time when everything is expected instantly. Fast food, fast internet, fast results. But life does not always move at the pace of our impatience. Some things take time, just like seeds take time to grow into trees. In stillness, you learn to wait with faith, to trust the process, to know that just because you cannot see growth right away does not mean nothing is happening. God works in silence too. Trees grow silently, hearts heal silently, the sun rises silently. Why then should we think that silence is unproductive? In fact, silence is the birthplace of the most meaningful growth. When you practice silence in the morning, you also carry a piece of it throughout your day. Even in the busiest meetings, even in the loudest places, you can return to that inner stillness and remain calm. Others may panic, others may react, but you will have the power to stay centered. Silence in the morning is like charging your inner battery. Without it, you run empty halfway through the day. With it, you carry energy and balance until the night. So, each morning, before diving into the chaos of the world, give yourself the gift of silence and stillness. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and simply be. Listen not to the outer noise, but to the inner presence of God within you. Let silence remind you that peace is not something you have to chase. It is already inside you. And once you discover that peace in the first few minutes of your day, no matter what challenges come, you will be able to walk through them with grace. Positive affirmations with God's presence are not just words we repeat. They are powerful vibrations that shape the way we think, feel, and act. Each morning when you rise, your mind is like fresh soil, and whatever seed you plant will grow throughout the day. If you begin your day by saying to yourself, "I am tired, I am unlucky, I am not enough," then that seed of negativity grows and your day unfolds with heaviness. But if you wake up and align your words with the truth of who you are in God's light and affirm with faith, "I am guided by God's wisdom, I am strong with God's strength, I am calm in God's presence," then you carry that energy throughout your day like a shield. Affirmations are not about creating illusions. They are about reminding yourself of eternal truths you often forget in the noise of life. Think about how often people begin their mornings by looking into the mirror and criticizing themselves. "I look tired, I don't look good, I feel weak," without realizing they are programming their day with low energy. But imagine if instead, as you stand before the mirror, you smile and affirm, "This body is a gift from God. This mind is blessed with intelligence. This soul is connected to divine strength." You instantly shift from self-doubt to self-respect. Words carry energy, and the words we direct towards ourselves influence us far more deeply than we realize. A practical example: imagine two people both going for a job interview. One repeats to himself, "I am nervous, I am not qualified enough. What if I fail?" His posture, his tone, and his energy will reflect that nervousness. The other person, before leaving home, takes a moment of stillness and repeats, "I trust God's plan for me. I will give my best with sincerity. I am calm and capable." He walks into the same room with confidence and peace. Even if both have equal skills, the second person radiates positivity, and people naturally respond to that. Affirmations prepare your inner atmosphere so that no matter where you go, you carry balance. It is important to understand that affirmations are not just about personal success, they are about aligning yourself with God's presence. When you say, "I am guided by God's wisdom," you are not inflating your ego, you are humbling yourself by recognizing that there is a higher wisdom beyond your limited mind. When you say, "I am calm in God's presence," you remind yourself that peace is not found in possessions, people, or circumstances. It is found within, where the divine resides. These affirmations remind us of truths we forget when stress takes over. Daily life often tests us with situations that push us toward negativity. Someone criticizes you, and instantly the mind says, "Maybe they are right, maybe I am worthless." But if you have practiced affirmations, your inner voice is stronger. Instead of collapsing, you respond, "I am secure in God's love. I do not need to be shaken by opinions." Someone tries to anger you, but you affirm within, "I am calm. I am not a slave to anger. I choose peace." This is not blind repetition. It is training the mind to return to the higher truth. Let's take the example of a gardener. A gardener knows that weeds will always try to grow in the soil. If he leaves the soil unattended, weeds will overtake the flowers. In the same way, negative thoughts are like weeds. They come without invitation. But affirmations are like the gardener's hands, gently pulling out the weeds and planting seeds of strength. When you affirm daily, you are taking responsibility for the garden of your mind. And when the garden of your mind is filled with positive words, rooted in God's truth, your outer life blossoms as well. Another daily example: imagine you are about to give a presentation at work and your heart is racing. One person in that moment tells himself, "I can't do this, everyone will laugh at me." The anxiety grows worse. Another person pauses, takes a breath, and repeats silently, "God is with me, I will speak with clarity, my words will serve a purpose." That affirmation calms the heart, focuses the mind, and transforms fear into faith. The situation is the same, but the response is worlds apart. Affirmations also work on a deeper level because your subconscious mind absorbs them like water soaking into roots. Over time, they become your natural way of thinking. Just as a river shapes rocks by flowing consistently, your affirmations shape your inner patterns by repetition. And when those patterns are infused with God's presence, you naturally rise above fear, insecurity, and self-doubt. The beauty of affirmations is that they require no elaborate tools. You don't need wealth, status, or resources to practice them. All you need is sincerity and consistency. Even while walking, bathing, or commuting, you can silently repeat affirmations that strengthen your soul. Words like, "I am protected by God's grace, I am strong, I am at peace, I am guided." These words are not mere sounds, they become reminders, anchors that keep you steady no matter how rough the sea of life becomes. So, begin your mornings with positive affirmations. Say them out loud, write them in a journal, or repeat them in silence with closed eyes. Let them flow not just from your lips but from your heart. When you say, "I am guided," feel that guidance. When you say, "I am strong," connect with the strength already inside you. When you say, "I am calm," let your breath slow down and your body relax. This is how affirmations transform from words into lived experience. And remember, when affirmations are practiced with God's presence, they become unshakable. Because they are not based on human pride, they are rooted in divine truth. You are not just convincing yourself. You are connecting with the reality that you are a soul, and the soul is always complete, always peaceful, always connected to God. When you remind yourself of this each morning, you step into the world not with fear, but with faith, not with doubt, but with dignity, not with restlessness, but with a calm strength that inspires everyone around you. The body we live in is not just flesh and bones, it is a sacred gift, a temple given to us by God to carry out the journey of life. Without this body, we could not walk, speak, love, serve, or even experience the beauty of this world. Yet so often, people neglect this gift. They treat their bodies like machines, pushing them beyond limits, filling them with harmful foods, depriving them of rest, and then wondering why they feel drained, sick, or lifeless. To begin your day by nourishing the body is not just about physical health, it is about respect for the gift that God has placed in your care. When you take care of your body, you honor the divine who designed it so perfectly. Every morning, the first thing your body craves is hydration. After hours of sleep, it is thirsty not just for coffee or tea, but for pure water. Drinking water upon waking is like giving your inner system a fresh start. It cleanses, refreshes, and energizes you for the day. Imagine a plant that has been dry all night. When you water it in the morning, it stands tall and radiant again. In the same way, when you give your body the nourishment it needs, you allow it to carry you with strength throughout the day. Many people rush to check their phones or emails, but forget that their first duty is to the vessel carrying them. If you do not care for your body, how will you carry out your duties, your dreams, or your service to others? Another essential part of nourishing the body is movement. Our bodies are designed to move, stretch, and flow. Think of a river. When it flows, it remains fresh. When it becomes stagnant, it begins to decay. In the same way, a body that never moves becomes stiff, tired, and vulnerable to illness. You don't need to spend hours in a gym to respect this gift. Even a few minutes of stretching, a walk in the morning, or simple breathing exercises awaken the body and remind it of its vitality. The goal is not to compete with anyone, not to look like someone else, but to keep your body ready, strong, and capable of fulfilling your purpose. Breathing itself is nourishment. How many of us breathe mindlessly, shallow and rushed? Yet breath is life. It is the constant reminder that God is sustaining us moment by moment. To begin your day with deep, conscious breaths is to recognize the miracle happening inside you. Close your eyes, inhale deeply, hold for a moment, and exhale slowly. With every breath, you can affirm, God is with me. God is sustaining me. Just a few minutes of such conscious breathing can calm the mind, energize the body, and center the soul. This is not just physical, it is spiritual nourishment flowing through every cell. Respecting the body also means being mindful of what you consume, not just in terms of food, but in terms of thoughts and environments. If you fill your body with unhealthy food, it becomes heavy and dull. If you fill your mind with negativity, your energy drops as well. Nourishment is holistic. Eat fresh, eat what gives life, avoid what drags you down. You don't have to be extreme or rigid, but you do need to be respectful. A body filled with clean, nourishing food becomes a better instrument for service, creativity, and spiritual growth. Consider a simple daily life example. Imagine a musician who owns a precious instrument. Every day he carefully tunes it, polishes it, and ensures it is in the best condition before playing. Why? Because he knows the beauty of the music depends on the health of the instrument. In the same way, your body is the instrument through which your soul plays its music in this world. If you neglect it, the music becomes weak, distorted, or cut short. But if you care for it, the music flows with strength and beauty, inspiring everyone around you. Unfortunately, many people only realize the importance of health when it is taken away. They run after money, status, or success, pushing their bodies to the edge until one day their health breaks down and everything else seems meaningless. Isn't it wiser to care for the body now, to respect it daily, rather than wait until it demands your attention through pain? Nourishing the body in the morning is like investing in your future. It ensures that you can live longer, serve better, and enjoy life more fully. Let us also remember that nourishing the body is not selfish. When you take care of yourself, you have more energy to take care of others. A weak, sick, or exhausted person cannot give fully to their family, their work, or their community. But a strong, energized, and healthy person radiates positivity wherever they go. Respecting your body is, therefore, an act of service to those around you. It is not vanity, it is responsibility. So each morning, treat your body with kindness. Drink water as if it were sacred, because it is. Stretch and move as if you are awakening a divine instrument, because you are. Breathe deeply and feel God's presence in every breath. Choose foods that honor the life within you rather than dull it. And most importantly, carry an attitude of gratitude towards your body. Instead of criticizing how it looks, appreciate what it does. Your heart beating tirelessly, your eyes allowing you to see beauty, your hands enabling you to serve. This body, with all its flaws and strengths, is still the most miraculous creation you have been given. Begin your day by nourishing it, respecting it, and honoring the divine who created it. Because when the body is cared for, the mind becomes clearer, the soul feels lighter, and the day ahead becomes brighter. A nourished body is not just a healthy vessel, it is a temple through which God's purpose can shine. Reading or reflecting on wisdom each morning is like feeding your soul with light before you step out into the world. Just as your body needs food to remain strong, your mind and heart need nourishment to stay steady, calm, and inspired. Most people wake up and immediately consume information, but not wisdom. They scroll through news headlines, messages, or social media, filling their minds with noise and negativity. The problem is, what you consume mentally at the beginning of the day becomes the lens through which you see the rest of your day. If you start with chaos, you carry chaos. If you start with wisdom, you carry clarity. That is why giving even a few minutes to uplifting words, scriptures, or reflections in the morning can transform not just your thoughts, but your entire life. Wisdom has the power to shift your perspective. For example, imagine you wake up feeling anxious because you have many challenges ahead of you. You open a book of timeless wisdom and you read a simple line, "This too shall pass." Suddenly, your heavy heart feels lighter. That one reminder tells you that no difficulty is permanent, no storm lasts forever. Now, instead of approaching your problems with fear, you approach them with calm courage. This is the power of reflecting on wisdom. It gives you strength that you didn't know you had. Think about a farmer who begins his day by sharpening his tools before heading to the field. Without sharp tools, he may work all day but achieve very little. Similarly, wisdom is the sharpening of your inner tools. When you reflect on wisdom in the morning, you sharpen your awareness, your patience, your ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Without this sharpening, you may spend the entire day working, struggling, and running, but not truly progressing in the deeper sense. Wisdom makes your effort meaningful. Daily life offers countless examples. Imagine a person stuck in traffic. Without wisdom, he curses, honks, and becomes restless. With wisdom, he thinks, "I cannot control this traffic, but I can control my state of mind." He uses that time to breathe, to reflect, or to listen to something inspiring. The situation is the same, but the outcome is completely different. That shift comes from wisdom. And when you remind yourself of such truths in the morning, you carry them with you like invisible armor, protecting you from frustration and negativity. Another example, suppose someone speaks harshly to you during the day. If your morning began with no reflection, you may immediately feel hurt, angry, and reactive. But if you had read even a small passage reminding you that words from others reflect their state of mind, not your worth, you will not be shaken so easily. You will respond with understanding instead of anger. That small piece of wisdom becomes your shield. Reflecting on wisdom also means creating a connection with God's presence. Every culture, every tradition has sacred texts, stories, and sayings that carry universal truths. Reading them in the morning is like tuning your heart to God's frequency before you step into the noise of the world. You don't need to read for hours. Even a few lines, if read with sincerity, can set the tone for your entire day. It is not about how much you read, it is about how deeply you allow those words to enter your heart. Many people say they don't have time in the morning, but think of this: if you don't have time to reflect, you don't have time to align yourself. And when you are unaligned, the whole day feels heavier. Taking just 5 minutes to sit in silence and think about a verse, a story, or a simple truth is not wasting time. It is investing in your peace of mind. It's like putting fuel into your car before a long journey. Without it, you may start driving, but you won't get very far. Wisdom also protects you from illusions. The world constantly tells you to chase more money, more success, more recognition. And while these are not wrong, they cannot give you lasting fulfillment. Wisdom reminds you of balance. It teaches you to work hard, but not become a slave to work. It reminds you to earn, but not lose yourself in greed. It tells you to love, but not become attached in ways that lead to suffering. These truths, if remembered in the morning, help you make choices throughout the day that are not just smart, but meaningful. Let's imagine a young student before an exam. One student wakes up and immediately thinks, I am stressed, I might fail. What if I don't remember? His day begins with fear. Another student wakes up, opens a book of wisdom and reads, do your best and leave the rest to God. She breathes, smiles, and prepares calmly. Both have the same exam, but their mental states are different because one started with panic while the other started with peace. Which one do you think will perform better? Wisdom in the morning also builds resilience. Life is unpredictable. You may face challenges you didn't plan for. But when your mind is anchored in truth, you don't break so easily. Just as a tree with deep roots does not fall even in strong winds, a person rooted in wisdom remains steady in storms. And those roots are strengthened every morning you choose reflection over distraction. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't just rush into the noise of the world. Take a book of wisdom, a journal, or even a simple quote that inspires you and sit with it for a few minutes. Let the words sink into your heart. Ask yourself, how can I live this truth today? Carry that reflection with you as you face people, tasks, and challenges. Because when you begin your day by feeding your mind with wisdom, you walk into the world not empty, but full, not restless, but rooted, not confused, but guided. And that makes all the difference.